Welcome once again to the channel. Welcome once again to the class. Before we move on to the to our topic, I would like to tell you that do not fall in those traps of coaching institutes telling that these many questions had come from our notes. These many questions had come from our notes. Okay, all these are just useless things. Okay, such things do not happen actually. Actually, if you take the coaching institute notes, then from every notes some questions might be there. Now in mains, UPSC mains, the questions might come. Okay, direct questions from notes might come in UPSC mains, because mains is not a mains has subjective paper, so bouncer questions are not asked in mains. Okay, but in prelims bouncer questions are also asked because it is OMR sheet based your paper. Okay, so bouncer questions are also asked. Now the thing is that do not fall in these traps that these many questions had come from our notes in the prelims, and all these are just rubbish. Actually the thing is that direct questions are this year direct questions were not there. Okay, indirectly you had to apply the logic and indirectly derive the concept. Okay, such was the paper of this year actually. So so directly word to word you will get the uh, questions from the notes of the coaching. All these are just rubbish things. Okay, such things do not happen actually. One or two questions might be there, no doubt about it, but the majority of questions are not like that. Some coaching institutes are claiming that 15 questions were from our test series, 29 questions were from our notes. All these are just rubbish. Okay, now someone if someone teaches very nicely, then some questions might be there which might be, but particularly this year what happened is that they completely changed the pattern. Okay, so by intuition you had to derive the logic, and by intuition you had to reach at the conclusion. Direct questions were not there this year. Okay, but a studious person might have found the paper as moderate. Okay, there are three kinds of student: who found the paper tough and those who found the paper moderate. Two kinds of students are there. Those students who say that the paper was very easy, those students are actually lying. Okay, even a seriously studying candidate will find this year's paper as difficult only. Difficult means moderate only. Okay, easy peasy, no one will find the question paper very easy or something like that. It is not possible. Okay, so those who say that the paper was very easy, those people are lying. Okay, if this would have been year 2015 2016, in those days the prelims was very easy. So in those days actually, if someone said that the prelims paper was easy peasy, so I could have believed him. Okay, but nowadays I will not believe him. Okay, a seriously studying candidate will find the question paper as moderately tough. Okay, not very tough but moderately tough, a serious candidate, and a non-serious candidate will find it very tough. Okay, so this is the thing. But anyways, even if you study the material honestly, whatever material you get from the coaching, okay, provided you have joined a good coaching. Okay, this is a condition. There is a precondition: you must have joined a good coaching, only then you will be able to solve the paper properly. Okay, if you have joined any coaching who is just making money out of you and is not providing the videos properly or anything properly, then obviously those coaching students will suffer. Okay, so these are the things. And some people are saying that this year's paper was completely means it could not be solved even after joining the coaching. So that is a false claim. Okay, actually, if you look at the questions carefully, then whatever you have learned in the coaching, okay, those things if you try to apply, okay, by intuition, if you derive the logic, okay, If you derive the line of logic, then you could have reached the answer. Okay, this in this year's paper. There was nothing too much difficult in it. Okay, I would rate the paper as a teacher of civil services. I would rate the paper as moderately tough. Okay, not highly tough. Okay, I would rate it as moderately tough. So these are the things. I know many people get angry with me because of this, but what can I do? The students are the most foolish persons on earth actually. uh, every coaching institute starts claiming the day results occur, the day these results are declared. From that day onwards, every coaching institute tries to portray itself in a good light and says that this Falana student was from my coaching, this Dhimkana student was from my coaching. All these are rubbish. Okay, all these are rubbish. I am telling you, only 10%, only 15% contribution is of your coaching. Okay, in civil services, whenever you clear the exam, only 15% contribution is of coaching. Okay, and the rest 85% contribution. Okay, it is of yourself. Okay, you yourself are responsible for 80%, 85% of your performance. Okay, 15% has been given to you by coaching. This is the reality. But what do coaching institutes do? They try to portray in such a manner that this student, if this person would not have joined Vajiram, or if person would not have joined Falana academy, then this person could never have qualified UPSC. They try to portray like that. Okay, so they portray it in a way that we even pampered this child. They portray it like that. Okay, it is not true actually. Only 15% contribution is there of coaching and 85% of yourself. Okay, all these are rubbish that this particular student, if he would not have joined Vajiram, then he would not have performed well at all. All these are rubbish, nonsense things. Okay, because what are I am seeing the students, what are they doing? They are looking at the optional of the toppers, and what they are looking at the instead of looking at themselves, they are looking at the optional of toppers, and they are looking at which coaching institute the toppers belong to. All these are totally rubbish, because sometimes what happens is that someone might join one coaching and then suddenly he did not find that coaching interesting, then he joined another one. So what happens is that both the coaching institutes claim that this student belongs to us. Okay, both the coaching will claim this thing. So if all the coaching institutes results are clubbed together. Okay, suppose this is Unacademy result. Okay, suppose this is Byju's result. So suppose this is Physics Walla UPSC result. Okay, suppose this is Vajiram's. Okay, this is Falana Dhimkana. A lot of them are there. Okay, if you club all these results together na, you will eventually find that there must have been actually 30,000 vacancies. Okay, 30,000 vacancies must have been there in order to get such results. Okay, but you clearly know this, that 30,000 vacancies are not there. Hardly 981, some in some years 1,100 vacancies, such vacancies are there. Okay, so these results are not at all possible. What happens sometimes is that someone had joined Byju's. Okay, I am telling you a real life example. What happened to one of the students of mine? Okay, one of my students had joined Byju's actually. Okay, I won't take his name, but he had joined Byju's actually. Then what happened is that he did not find Byju's interesting, and he found it as pure loot of money. Okay, so he shifted to Unacademy. So he found Unacademy quite helpful. Okay, so he continued with that. Then when he got the All India rank result, he got All India rank 21. Okay, So what happened is that Byju's also displayed his result and Unacademy also displayed his result. So the actual contribution was of Unacademy. Okay, 15% contribution in success was of Unacademy, but Byju's also claimed that this is our topper. So such things happen. Okay. Similarly, other things might also happen. I am not here to promote, but I told you a real life example. Okay, I am not here to promote an academy, but I am telling you a real life example that what happened to one of my students. Okay, he was a person of maths optional actually. Okay, that's why he used to study from me. So, anyways, I don't know how much time it will require for completing the syllabus, because already the syllabus is going on at snail's pace, but I am quite confident that within 2 or 3 years everything will be in place. Okay, so what happened is that Afghans constantly then clashed with so we will continue our discussion on Afghans. Okay, we had already discussed that uh, okay, where is, yes, we were discussing Bangash Pathans and Rohillas, and both of these Bangash Pathans as well as Rohillas both are Afghans actually. Okay, so uh, all these things we have already discussed. Now we will discuss this. Afghans constantly clashed with Maratha Jats. Okay, the discussion on Bangash Pathans and Rohillas is being continued. Okay, Afghans Afghans constantly clashed with Marathas, Jats. Afghans constantly clashed with Marathas, Jats, and the state of Awadh. In the second half of 18th century. Okay, second half of 18th century means 1750s onwards. Okay, from 1750s to 1799. In that second half, Afghans constantly clashed with Marathas and Jats and the state of Awadh also. Okay, now these Afghan states, okay, what did they do? These Afghan states actually constantly supported. Okay, these Afghan states supported Ahmad Shah Abdali. These Afghan states these Afghan states supported these Afghan states supported Ahmad Shah Abdali during the third battle of Panipat. We have already discussed the third battle of Panipat 1761, right? So these Afghan states supported Ahmad Shah Abdali during the third battle of Panipat. Okay. So these Afghan states means Bangash Pathans and Rohillas actually supported Ahmad Shah Abdali during the third battle of Panipat, which occurred in 1761. Okay. Later on, what happened? Later on, these states. Okay. Later on, these states means Bangash Pathans and Rohillas states. Okay. Later on, these states were annexed. Were annexed by the British East India Company. Okay, so this happened. What happened in 1772? This is also related to your Afghans only. Okay, in 1761, third battle of Panipat took place, and then in 1772, one important event took place, that Marathas invaded Rohilkhand. Okay, Marathas invaded Rohilkhand. Marathas invaded Rohilkhand. Marathas had invaded Rohilkhand in 1772, but what happened? But because of the death of Peshwa Madhav Rao, because of the death of Peshwa Madhav Rao in 1772, Marathas returned to Pune. Okay. So what happened then? State of Awadh took advantage of this. Okay. After Rohilkhand, after Marathas had invaded Rohilkhand, uh, but Marathas had to actually return from there. Okay, because Peshwa Madhavrao had died. Okay, so Marathas returned to Pune. Then what happened? State of Awadh actually took advantage of this. Okay, state of Awadh state of Awadh took advantage of this. Okay, so what happened then? State of Awadh actually seeing that Marathas had invaded Rohilkhand, Rohilkhand is already weak and Marathas too have returned. Okay, so state of Awadh took advantage of this, and what happened is that state of Awadh took advantage and the following battle took place, that is state of Awadh state of Awadh plus English East India Company English East India Company. Okay, these two formed one team. State of Awadh plus English East India Company were on one side versus Rohillas, means Rohilkhand itself. Okay, so this battle took place because State of Awadh took advantage of this. So State of Awadh actually uh, shook hands with English East India Company and attacked Rohillas. Okay, so finally what happened? Rohilkhand annexed by Awadh. Okay, Rohilkhand annexed by Awadh. Okay, and State of Awadh created a what did State of Awadh do? Created a state of Rampur. Created a state of Rampur out of Rohilkhand. Okay, because they annexed Rohilkhand, right? Yes. Later again what happened? Later English East India Company, Britishers were in a habit of uh, betraying, okay, their partners. So actually this partnership, State of Awadh and English East India Company partnership, okay, so English East India Company actually betrayed Awadh, and what did it do? It actually annexed Rohilkhand in 1803. Okay, later English East India Company annexed Rohilkhand. Rohilkhand in 1803. Okay, so Rohilkhand was first. So the chronology is, first of all Marathas attacked Rohilkhand. Rohilkhand became very weak. After Rohilkhand became weak, State of Awadh took advantage. State of Awadh shook hands with Britishers. State of Awadh plus English East India Company attacked Rohilkhand. State of Awadh annexed Rohilkhand. After State of Awadh annexed Rohilkhand, they created a state of Rampur out of it. After that, English East India Company annexed Rohilkhand in 1803. Okay, because why did they annex? Because Awadh was not able to pay. Awadh was not able to pay money which was due. Which money was due? We had helped you. We had helped you in annexing Rohilkhand. Okay, so British East India Company said, told the state of Awadh. British East India Company told the state of Awadh that we had in fact helped you in annexing Rohilkhand. So you took our help. So you should pay us some money now because we helped you out of our army. Okay, so you got Rohilkhand because of us. So now pay us money because we had to bear expenses of fighting with the state of Rohilkhand along with you. Okay, so you took our help, so now give us some money. But Awadh was not able to pay that money because it was a huge amount. Okay, so Awadh was not able to pay money which was due. Okay, so English East India Company annexed Rohilkhand in 1803. Okay, so that's why which was due. Yes. So in exchange of money, English East India Company annexed Rohilkhand. Okay, so in exchange of money, English East India Company annexed Rohilkhand. Okay. Now where is Rohilkhand? I have already shown it to you in the this here in the map, and going 200 slides backwards it's very difficult. Okay, some 17th or 18th slide I had made a map of India, and I had showed to you the Rohilkhand, Awadh, Jat, state of Kerala, and etc. all the regional states during this period, during the 18th century. I had showed it to you. It would be there in some lecture 1 or 2. Okay, if you haven't watched those, or if you haven't drawn those in the notebook, okay, then surely this lecture series will not help you at all. Okay, because these are actually, I am making this lecture series, uh, it is equivalent to paid coaching. Okay, the level of this lecture series, whichever whatever lecture series I am making on this channel, those will be actually equivalent to paid courses. Okay, you will find this thing after you join any paid classes. You will understand that I had taught better, okay, than even some of the paid coaching institutes. Okay, so don't underestimate all these things. So in exchange of money, English East India Company annexed Rohilkhand. Okay, now the question arises, Pune, what was Pune? What was Pune? Pune was center of Peshwas. Okay, Pune was this thing you have to remember. Pune was the center of Peshwas. Okay, Pune was the center of Peshwas. Most important city for Peshwas. Okay, Peshwas used to live in Pune. Now, who was the founder of Farrukhabad? I have already discussed this with you in the previous classes. I am just testing your knowledge. Okay, Farrukhabad. Farrukhabad. Who was the founder? Founder. Founder of Farrukhabad was Muhammad Khan Bangash. As yesterday's class we have learnt it already. Okay, so Muhammad Khan Bangash was the founder of Farrukhabad. Okay, as already told to you, this was also a state which supported Ahmad Shah Abdali. Okay, so Ahmad Shah Abdali, because modern day concept of nationalism was not there in those days. Okay, that we are helping an enemy country to invade our own country, we are helping an enemy country to invade our own country, we are actually anti-national. Such feelings were not there in those days. Okay, in those days, Maratha was a separate country, Jat state was a separate country, Kerala state was a separate country, Rohilkhand was a separate country, Awadh was a separate country. Okay, such was the system in those days. Okay, concept of modern day India as a country as a whole. Okay, this modern day concept did not exist in those days. Okay, so Ahmad Shah Abdali was supported by Rohillas plus Awadh. Okay, Ahmad Shah Abdali supported by Rohillas and Awadh. Okay, Ahmad Shah Abdali was supported by Rohillas and Awadh. Means state of Awadh and Rohilkhand had actually supported Ahmad Shah Abdali in the third battle of Panipat, 1761. Okay, so Rohillas and Awadh had actually supported Ahmad Shah Abdali for invading the Maratha territory. Okay. Now we will actually revise some concepts. Okay, we will actually revise some concepts. Let us revise one by one. Okay, let us revise one by one. Founder of Farrukhabad. Who was the founder of Farrukhabad? Right, just now I have told you. Okay, founder of Farrukhabad. All these are important. Okay, founder of Farrukhabad. Who was the founder of Farrukhabad? It was Muhammad Khan Bangash. Okay, Muhammad Khan Bangash. Then founder of state of Bharatpur. I have already discussed this with you in the previous class. Okay, founder of state of Bharatpur. Chudaman and Badan Singh. Okay, we had discussed Chudaman and Badan Singh. Okay, then we had learnt about Maharaja Surajmal, right? Surajmal. What was Surajmal? Most powerful ruler of Jats. Most powerful ruler of Jats in 1750s. Okay. Now this Surajmal was son of Badan Singh. Okay. In order to connect dots, you can remember this fact, but this fact will never be asked in the examination. Okay, that Surajmal was the son of Badan Singh. This fact will never be asked in the examination. Okay, so Surajmal was son of Badan Singh. Actually, the Churaman and Badan Singh founded the state of Bharatpur, and Surajmal was the son of Badan Singh. Okay. Now, one more thing. Who were called as Nawab Wazirs? Now, let us see. What we have learned till now, we are revising just once again. Okay. Who were this also we have discussed in the previous classes if you have watched them carefully. Who were called Nawab Wazirs? Okay, who were called Nawab Wazirs? So the answer is rulers of Awadh were called as Nawab Wazirs. Okay, rulers of Awadh were called as Nawab. Rulers of Awadh were called as Nawab Wazirs. Now we have also learned this thing. Okay, now de facto founder of just we are revising once again. Okay, de facto founder of Hyderabad. Okay, who was that? Nizamul Mulk. Okay, this we have discussed many times. Nizamul Mulk. Nizamul Mulk is Mir Kamaruddin Khan. He is also called as Nizamul Mulk Asaf Jah. Okay. Then next step, de facto founder of Carnatic. Okay. De facto founder of the independent state of Carnatic. Then Carnatic is Sadatullah Khan. Yes. Okay. Then de facto founder of the independent state of Bengal. Who was that? For Bengal it was Murshid Quli Khan. Yes. Okay. For Bengal it was Murshid Quli Khan. For Carnatic it was Sadatullah Khan. For Bengal it was Murshid Quli Khan. Of Awadh, de facto founder of the independent state of Awadh, Sadat Khan. Okay, not Sadatullah Khan. Sadatullah Khan was for Carnatic. For Awadh it is Sadat Khan. Okay. Now next thing which we have already learned. Okay, this is summary is going on right now. Okay, summary of what we have already learned. Who is second founder in previous 7 lectures? Okay, who is second founder of Maratha Empire? Who is second founder of Maratha Empire? Okay, so first founder of Maratha Empire is Shivaji. Okay, Shivaji Maharaj. And second founder of Maratha Empire, who is that? Second founder of Maratha Empire was Balaji Vishwanath. Okay. Second founder of Maratha Empire was Balaji Vishwanath. Okay, and Balaji Vishwanath was not a king. Okay, not a king. Unlike Shivaji, who was the king. Over here, Balaji Vishwanath was not king, but he was Peshwa. Okay, and Peshwa is equal to Prime Minister. Okay. Okay, we have already discussed all these things. Okay. Then Maratha leaders on ground in third battle of Panipat. Okay. Maratha leaders on ground in the third battle of Panipat. Okay, so who were they? Sadashiv Rao Bhau and Vishwas Rao. Okay. Sadashiv Rao Bhau and Vishwas Rao. Then host support the Daimacha Abdali get Rohillas and Awadh. Okay. Rohillas and Awadh. Daimacha Abdali got the support of home during third battle of Panipat. Okay, so he got the support of Rohillas and Awadh. Okay, he got the support of Rohillas and Awadh. Now, actually, there is one question based on this. Okay, there is one question based on this, which says that how mid 18th century India. Okay, question is how mid 18th century India was beset with the spectre of a fragmented polity. Okay, so how 18th century India was beset with the spectre of a fragmented polity. So attempt this question. This was asked in 2017. Okay, this was asked in UPSC mains 2017, 150 words. Okay, and it was of 10 marks. 10 marks. Okay, so let's see how to approach this question. So first of all, introduction will come, right? Introduction will come. The introduction will say that the various, okay, I am writing a model answer, okay, and explaining it to you. The various religious and regional, okay, religious policies of bigotry. Okay, so various religious and regional policies, this everyone knows, okay, of Aurangzeb. Various regional, religious and regional policies of Aurangzeb had led to weakening of Mughal Empire. Okay, it led to weakening of so Mughal Empire started to decline after Aurangzeb's death in 1707. Okay, so various religious and regional policies of Aurangzeb had led to the weakening of Mughal Empire already, and the Mughal Empire then started to decline after Aurangzeb's death in 1707. Okay, tripartite struggle was going on in North India. Okay, we have already discussed all these things. Okay, tripartite tripartite struggle in North India. Okay, so what are we writing the answer for? We are writing the answer for this question, that how mid 18th century India, means 1750s onwards, okay, it was beset with the specter of a fragmented polity, means how the polity was fragmented. Okay, how the regional aspirations were growing, and how the fragmented entire India was fragmented into various smaller kingdoms, smaller states. Okay, so we have to discuss that thing, and what were the struggles going undergoing. Okay, how they were fighting with each other and all those things. Okay, so we have to discuss all these things. So introduction will come with this, that actually Aurangzeb's policies had led to the weakening of Mughal empire, and after his death soon the empire started to decline. So the pan India empire started to get divided into various regional states. Okay, small regional states. Now among those regional states, tripartite struggle was going on in North India. Okay, so between whom was the tripartite struggle going on in North India? Let us see now. Okay, between whom was the tripartite struggle going on in North India? Let's see. Okay, so in North India, a triangular power struggle, okay, was going on. In North India, triangular power struggle was going on between Mughals. Mughals means later Mughals. Okay, so between Mughals, Marathas and Afghans. Yes, Mughals, Marathas and Afghans. Okay, there were Maratha and Afghan raids. Okay, second point in this heading itself. Okay, there were, I had already discussed, right, that Marathas and Afghans were in habit of raiding their enemy's territory. Okay, just a second, let me take the position properly. Okay, yes. So in North India already a triangular power struggle was going on between Mughals, Marathas and Afghans. There were Maratha and Afghan raids in North India. Okay, there were Maratha and Afghan. There were Maratha and Afghan raids in Marathas and Afghans were in a habit of raiding their enemy's territory. Okay, Marathas and Afghans were in a habit of raiding their enemy's territory to get their royal treasuries filled. Okay, in order to fill their royal treasury, they used to plunder their enemy's territory. Okay, there were Maratha and Afghan raids in north, central and Eastern India. Okay. Thus weakening this further weakened the Indian subcontinent, right? Thus weakening the Indian subcontinent because internal clashes were there, right? Thus weakening the Indian subcontinent internally. Okay. So the Indian subcontinent was weakened from inside because of internal struggles between the regional states. So there were the Maratha and Afghan raids in north, central and eastern India, thus weakening the Indian subcontinent internally. Okay. Then there was also a tripartite struggle going on in South India. Okay. There was also a tripartite struggle in South India. Tripartite struggle in South India. Okay. So there was also a tripartite struggle which was going on in the South India. So in South India, it was going on between whom? In South India, a triangular power struggle was going on. Between Mysore Marathas were there in both north and south. Okay, because the region of Maharashtra comes in between. Okay, it is the Deccan region, right? So it connects north and south India. That's why Marathas were active in both north India as well as south India. Okay, so in South India, triangular power struggle was going on between Mysore Marathas and Nizam of Hyderabad. Okay. So the North India was also very weak because there was no unity. Tripartite struggle was going on between Maratha, Afghans and Mughals in north, and in South India also the Indian subcontinent was very weak because in south also Mysore Marathas and Nizam of Hyderabad were fighting. Okay. Then again, tripartite struggle in North India and South India were also the this also shows how India is beset with the specter of a fragmented polity. Okay, tripartite struggle in North, tripartite struggle in South, fragmented polity in North and fragmented polity in South are over. Okay, now in addition to these things, foreign invasions were also there. Okay, so foreign invasions were also making India weak internally. Okay, so foreign invasions by Ahmad Shah Durrani. Okay, Ahmad Shah Abdali or Durrani, both are same. Okay, Ahmad Shah Abdali oblique Ahmad Shah Durrani. Ahmad Shah Abdali oblique Ahmad Shah Durrani and Nadir Shah. Okay, so they invaded India, right? Foreign invasions by Ahmad Shah Abdali or Ahmad Shah Durrani and Nadir Shah. So what happened? Now describe this. So these invasions proved these invasions proved what? These invasions proved these invasions proved how weak the central authority these invasions of Ahmad Shah Durrani and the Nadir Shah proved how weak the central authority in India had become. Okay, how weak this okay how weak the central authority in India had become, and further led to weakening of the empire economically. Okay, because they had looted a lot. Okay, they had looted a lot of money, so that's why now the already politically Indian subcontinent was very weak politically already, and economically too, because there were expenses on internal struggles. Okay, because of armies clashing. So because of the armies clash, there was a lot of money being spent on the expenditure of armies. Okay, maintenance of armies. Okay, modern weapons, etc. On the top of it, Ahmad Shah Abdali and Nadir Shah's invasions further weakened the empire economically, because they had looted a lot of money. Okay, Nadir Shah had looted so much of money that for the next 3 years he had uh, curtailed all the taxes in Iran. Okay, Nadir Shah was the ruler of Iran, right? Persian ruler. So what did he do? After he looted the money from India, from Mughals, after he looted the money from Mughals, he actually took it to Iran, and then for the Irani public living over there, he just curtailed all the taxes. Okay, he just curtailed all the taxes, and he made his regime tax free for 3 years. Okay, so much was the money he looted. Okay, so that he can even uh, make his own empire tax free for 3 years. Okay, so these invasions proved how weak the central authority in India had become actually, and these further led to the weakening of empire economically. Okay, economically. So the central authority was absolutely absent. This was proved. Okay. Okay. Then seeing how weak the central authority is. Okay. Seeing how weak the central authority is, the regional aspirations further grew. Okay. So these invasions further gave wind. Okay. Further gave wind to regional aspirations. Okay. For example, Okay, so these regional aspirations, how they were growing up. Ali Muhammad Khan, okay, what did he do? Expanded the territories of Rohilkhand. Okay, Ali Muhammad Khan, what did he do? Expanded the territories of Rohilkhand. Okay, following the confusion. After Nadir Shah's invasion. In 1739. Okay. So Ali Muhammad Khan actually expanded territories of Rohilkhand following the confusion after Nadir Shah's invasion in 1739. Now, along with this is beset. India was already beset with the specter of this fragmented polity, and European companies' aspirations were also growing. Okay, European companies' aspirations. European companies' aspirations. Okay. European companies' aspirations. Okay. Taking advantage of the unrest. Okay. So European companies' aspirations were also growing. So taking advantage of the unrest. Taking advantage of the unrest, the European companies started interfering in the Indian politics. Okay, seeing that there is no central authorities, the time is very good for us. Okay, so taking advantage of the unrest, the European companies started interfering in Indian politics. By taking sides. Okay, by taking sides for and against the regional powers. Okay, so European companies, what did they do? Okay, so they took advantage of the unrest, and for example, already suppose two states are fighting with each other. Okay, so if two states are fighting with each other, what will they do? They will make friends with one of the sides and will fight against the other. Okay, so actually in Indian politics, European companies had started interfering by taking sides for and against the regional powers. Okay, they will fight for Rohilkhand, then they will fight for Awadh, for examples like that. Okay, okay. So example of this is already there. So see the example of this. Okay, example. Awadh and English East India Company together annexed Awadh and East India Company. Awadh and English East India Company together. So they also started interfering in the Indian politics. Together, annexed Rohilkhand in 1790s. Okay. Thus, in the mid, this is the conclusion of the answer. Okay. Thus, in the mid 18th century, time was ripe. Time was ripe for the Britishers time was ripe for the Britishers to colonize India. Okay. So the time was very good for Britishers to colonize India, and they took the advantage of this opportunity. Okay. And finally they colonized India. They were able to colonize India finally. Okay. So we will start with the arrival of European trading companies in India. Okay. We will start with it, but after some time. Okay. Arrival of European companies in India we will do after some time. So let us continue our discussion from the point where we had left. Okay. So we had actually left at this point that the main censor was over. Thus, in the mid 18th century, the time was ripe for the Britishers to colonize India. This much we had done in the previous class. Previous means the previous segment of this video. Now we will do arrival of European trading companies in India. Okay. So let us write arrival of European trading companies. Arrival of European trading companies in India. So this is the heading which we are going to start now. So trade between India and Europe existed since ancient times. Okay, this everyone knows. Even in world history also you will learn this. Trade between India and Europe existed since ancient times. There was a great demand of Indian products. There was a great demand of Indian products. like spices, cotton, cotton cloths basically, okay, spices, cotton cloths, spices, cotton cloths, silk, precious stones, etc. in European countries. So trade between India and Europe existed since ancient times, okay, and there was a great during the Roman Empire, and so during that time also the trade between India and Europe existed, okay. There was a great demand of Indian products like spices, cotton cloths, silk, precious stones, etc. Okay, in the European countries. So, what were the main items of demand from India? Spices, cotton cloths, silk, precious stones. These were the main items of demand from India. Okay. This demand, however, what happened? Okay. Now let us understand. This demand, however, declined. Okay. This demand, however, declined after the this demand, however, declined after the fall of Western Roman Empire. This demand, however, declined after the fall of Western Roman Empire in 5th century Common Era. Okay, what does it mean by 5th century Common Era? 5th century Common Era means 400 to 499 Common Era. Okay, during this time what happened? Fall of Western Roman Empire took place. Okay, so the demand for Indian products declined after this. Okay, then what happened after after the rise of after the rise of Islamic power and the conquest of Egypt, after the rise of Islamic power and the conquest of Egypt, after the rise of Islamic power, you know this very well that Islamic power rose, okay, from Saudi Arabia, and it started spreading to other parts of the country of the world. Okay, so Islamic power was there in the Middle East. Okay, so it went up to the Roman Empire. Okay, so after the rise of Islamic power and the conquest of Egypt and Persia by Arabs, okay, conquest of Egypt and Persia by Arabs. Okay, where is Egypt? You know this very well that there is Africa continent. Okay, there is this continent of Africa. Okay, suppose this is African continent. So over here somewhere there is Egypt. Okay, and over here there is Saudi Arabia. Okay, over here there is Saudi Arabia, and Persia. Where is Persia? Like this. Okay, so this is your Persia, means Iran. present day Iran, okay, which is neighbor to Pakistan, okay. So Pakistan was a part of India only during those days. So suppose from here India starts, suppose, okay. So this Islamic power rose in Saudi Arabia, and it started spreading to towards east also and towards west also, okay. So when it spread towards the east, when it got spreaded towards the east, then it took over Iran with itself, okay. And when it started to spread in the west direction, then Egypt was taken over by Arabs, okay. So initially in Persia and Egypt, Islam was not practiced, okay. Initially in Persia and Egypt, Islam was not practiced. It was only after the conquest of Egypt and Persia by Arabs, only after that these became Islamic countries, only after that, okay. Before that they were practicing some, they were all tribal people before that, okay. After that they got converted to Islam because of conquest of uh, conquest by Islamic rulers, okay. So after the rise of Islamic power and conquest of Egypt and Persia by Arabs, Europeans faced a setback, okay. Europeans Europeans faced a setback, as now the Arab merchants, this is all during the uh, ancient period, okay. This is 400 to 499 common era, means ancient times, okay. So after the rise of Islamic power and conquest of Egypt and Persia by Arabs, Europeans faced a setback, okay. They faced a setback as now the Arab merchants started dominating the Indian and Eastern trade, okay. Arab merchants started dominating the Indian India lies towards the east only, right? Europe lies towards the west and India lies towards the east. So including India and many other countries like India, so that's why it has written Eastern trade too, okay. So Arab merchants started dominating the Indian and Eastern trade, okay. This trade also included Indonesia too, okay. This also included Indonesia. So dominating the Indian and Eastern trade, okay. Now now spices and cottons, okay. Spices and cotton, spices and cotton had maximum demand, okay, even more than precious stones, etc., okay. So spices and cotton had maximum demand, okay, maximum demand in European countries for. So now why spices are required, okay. Why spices are required, were required rather, okay, because we are talking about the past, right? So why spices were required by were required to the why spices were required by to the Europeans, okay. So let's see, the answer to this is in European countries, in European countries for 3 to 4 months. In European countries for 3 to 4 months, very harsh winters are there. Okay, very harsh winters are there. Why very harsh winters? Because they lie in the temperate zone. Yes, India lies in the semi-temperate zone. Okay, upper half of India lies in the uh, temperate zone, and the downward lower half of India lies in the torrid zone. Right? You must be knowing this, that Earth is divided into temperate zone. Okay, this is frigid zone. Then this comes temperate zone, then torrid zone. Okay, you must be knowing this. Okay, so this is what, this is your torrid zone. Okay, India is like this. Okay, and this is torrid zone, this is temperate zone, these two are temperate, then this middle one is torrid, and these two are frigid zones. Okay, these two are frigid zones, Arctic and Antarctic. So Europe, India lies over here, and Europe is somewhere like this. Okay, Europe is somewhere like this, India lies below. Okay, so India, half of the lower half of India lies in the torrid zone, and upper half of India lies in the temperate zone. Okay, but for Europe lower half lies in the lower region of Europe lies in the temperate zone, and the very extreme upper region of Europe lies in the frigid zone. Okay, extreme upper region, Norway, Sweden, Finland area, that lies in the frigid zone. Okay, and the lower part of Europe lies in the temperate zone. So, and the latitudes, if you compare the latitudes of Europe, they are much higher than the latitudes of India. Okay, latitudes of Europe are much higher than the latitudes of India, and you know this very well, that as you go away from the equator, as you move away from the equator, what happens? Winters are very harsh. Okay, harsh winters, as you move away from the equator, harsh winters start. Okay, so that's why in European countries for 3 to 4 months very harsh winters are there. Okay, so these were just for understanding. In European countries for 3 to 4 months very harsh winters are there. Okay, so in order to preserve meat, what do they do? So in order to in order to preserve meat, so in order to preserve meat, spices are required. Okay, so spices are required to preserve meat. They do not take spices as food, unlike India where the food is very spicy. Right, in India the food is spicy, but in Europe the food is not spicy. Okay, their original cuisine is not spicy, cuisine cuisine. Okay, so their original cuisine is not spicy, but still they need spices. Why? They needed spices to preserve the meat, because in harsh winters the meat could not be preserved properly without the spices in those days, because in those days there were no refrigerators. Remember this thing, in those days there were no refrigerators, unlike today we have refrigerators, right? So there is no need of spices for preserving meat, but in those days there were no refrigerators, so spices were required in order to preserve meat. Okay, so in order to preserve meat, spices are required. India at that time, and also why cotton was in, now why cotton was required? Okay, so why spices were required, we have learnt. Okay, why cotton was required by Europeans? Why Indian cotton clothes were needed to Europeans. Okay, India at that time actually, okay, India, answer to this is that India at that time, India at that time produced the best quality. India at that time produced the best quality cotton clothes. Okay, so that's why cotton clothes were needed to Europeans. They considered it to be a luxurious item. Okay, so now we will learn something about the Roman Empire. How was that Roman Empire? Okay, so see, Roman Empire and the cotton cloths produced in India were of so good quality that the entire world was a big fan of it. Okay, the entire world was a big fan of Indian cloths, Indian cotton cloths. Okay, muslin cloth. So they liked it very much. Okay, Roman Empire had two divisions. Okay, Roman Empire had two divisions, eastern part and western part. Okay, Roman Empire had two divisions, eastern part and western part. So western part, we had learned over here that western Roman Empire declined in the 5th century Common Era, right? So the thing is, it had two divisions, eastern and western part. The western part, okay, western part declined. Western part declined in 5th, declined in 5th, declined in 5th century Common Era. Okay, western part declined in 5th century Common Era. Okay, now why the declination took place? Why it declined? Because of invasion. Because of invasion by German tribes. Okay, rise of Islamic power took place in 7th century. This also you must remember. Okay, the after the declination of Roman Empire, Western Roman Empire in the 5th century Common Era, rise of Islamic power took place 200 years afterwards. Okay, rise of Islamic power took place 200 years afterwards. So rise of Islamic power took place in 7th century Common Era. Okay, that means from 600 to 699 Common Era. During this period, the rise of Islamic power took place. Okay, after the death of what we can say, uh, after the death of Muhammad Paigambar, okay, Prophet Muhammad, yes, after the death of Prophet Muhammad, rise of Islamic power took place in 7th century Common Era, 600 to 699 Common Era. Okay. Now this timeline you must remember. Then what happened? Then after the conquest of Constantinople, okay, after the conquest of Constantinople, after the conquest of Constantinople, modern day, what is this Constantinople? Okay, modern day Istanbul in Turkey. Okay, modern day Istanbul in Turkey. So who conquested the Constantinople? Ottoman Turkish Empire. Okay, by Ottoman Empire. By Ottoman Empire in 1453. Okay, we have reached 1453 Common Era from 700 Common Era. Okay, so by Ottoman Empire in 1453, Europeans again received a major setback. Okay, what happened then? Europeans again received a major setback. As Constantinople was a Constantinople was a crucial region in the overland trade with India and China. Okay, so one setback was there in 400 Common Era. Okay, so one setback was there in 400 Common Era, and then another setback came in 1453. That is medieval history. Okay, so during the medieval times, another setback came in. So Europeans again received a major setback as Constantinople was a crucial region in the overland trade with India and China. Okay, so Europeans again received a major setback as Constantinople was a crucial region in the overland trade with India and China. Why was it a crucial region? If you look at the map of, if you look at the political map of Europe, you will find Turkey as a country which lies half in Asia and half in Europe. Okay, so the situation of Turkey, the country Turkey, is something of this kind. Okay, so this is suppose you are Mediterranean Sea, and this is your Turkey. Okay, this is Asia Turkey, and this is Europe Turkey. Okay, this is Turkey. So the country Turkey lies in the Eurasia continent. Okay, Turkey lies in Eurasia. Eurasia means half of the Turkey lies in Asia, half in Europe. So the Constantinople region is such a region which connects Asia to Europe via the land route. Okay, so there is a small stretch of sea. Okay, small stretch of sea over here. Okay, so the Constantinople was a bridge between the land route. So from land route over here, then they came to India. Okay, and China also. They went to China like this. Okay, so this crucial region was taken over by Ottoman Turks, and over here somewhere there were uh, those people. Europeans used to live over here. So this area was taken away by Ottoman Turks. So coming from here, and over here there is African continent, right? Over here there is African continent, and this is Mediterranean Sea, and over here there is Europe. Okay, so it became very difficult to cross the Mediterranean Sea and come over here to India and China because the land route was blocked by the Turks. Okay, land route was blocked by Turks, Ottoman Turks. Let me erase this. If you open the political map, you will understand it even better. Just look at the Turkey's present day Turkey's position. You will understand that how the situation was. Okay. So Europeans again received a major setback as Constantinople was a crucial region in the overland trade with India and China. Right? So overland trade means the land route to India and China passed from Turkey region. Okay. So from there, that area was occupied by Turks, Arabs. Okay. So so they did not allow Europeans to go to India and China from there. Okay. So what was the situation? We will understand now. Exact situation. Okay. 15th century in Europe was the period of rational thinking. Okay, so let us write over here. Fourth point. 15th century. 15th century in Europe was the period of rational thinking. Okay, Renaissance, right? Period of rational thinking. You must be knowing about Renaissance. Was the period of rational thinking and geographical discoveries. Rational thinking and geographical discoveries. 15th century means 1400 to 1499 period. Okay, what does it mean by 15th century? 15th century means 1400 to 1499. So that was the period of Western thinking, means Renaissance. Renaissance was taking place in Europe, and geographical discoveries were also taking place. Europeans wanted to search new land and new trade routes. Okay, Europeans wanted to search new land and new trade routes. Okay, as the period was that of Renaissance, so all these things were being promoted by the state over there. Okay, ROUTS. Now, what is this Ottoman Empire? Though for those of you who do not know what is this Ottoman Empire all about, so let us see what is this Ottoman Empire. Okay, Ottoman Empire is nothing but simply a very powerful Islamic empire. Okay, Ottoman Empire. So what is it? It is a very powerful Islamic Empire. Okay. So what happened in Renaissance exactly? Let us understand that. Okay. So Renaissance. Okay. The spelling is very different from Renaissance, but pronunciation is Renaissance instead of Renaissance. Okay. So the pronunciation is very different. Pronunciation is Renaissance. Okay. This is the pronunciation. But the spelling is Renaissance. But the actual pronunciation is Renaissance. So Renaissance in Europe. What was the period of Renaissance in Europe? 14th 14th to 17th centuries. Common era. Okay. So in short we can say 1300 to 1699 period. Okay. This was the period of Renaissance in Europe. Okay. What did it do? It promoted rational thinking. Before that it was dark age in Europe. Okay. Before that what was there? It was dark age in Europe. So promoted rational thinking. Promoted rational thinking. And because of this rational thinking, because of this rational thinking, what happened? Science developed. Okay. Because of this rational thinking, science developed. Okay. So science developed, which was based on facts. Okay. Objective based thinking. Fact based. What is science? It is basically fact based. Fact based or objective. In nature. Okay. And what happened from 16th to 18th century in Europe? As a result of this Renaissance, what happened? Okay. As a result of this Renaissance, 16th to 18th centuries. Common era. Okay. So what happened in Europe? Scientific revolution took place actually. Okay. Scientific revolution took place. Okay. Science is objective in nature. Okay. So science is objective in nature, unlike religion which is subjective in nature. Okay. What does it mean by science is objective in nature? Science is based on facts. Okay. It is not based on the feelings of someone. So science is not based on feelings of someone, and religion is based on how someone feels. Okay. Spirituality, religion, all these things are based on how the person feels, feelings of a person. So they are subjective in nature, means they will change from person to person. the perception towards God will change from person to person. Someone will say that God does not exist, someone will say that God exists. Okay, so religion is subjective in nature, means from the person's point of view religion will differ, but science is not like that. Science is objective in nature. Okay, so it is verifiable reality. Science is what? Verifiable reality. It is based on facts, whereas religion is based on feelings. Okay, so when the formula of water was discovered, what is the formula of water in chemistry? The formula of water in chemistry is H2O. Okay, so the personal feelings of scientists did not affect the discovery of water as H2O. Okay, the formula of water is H2O. So for everyone the formula of water will be H2O only. Okay, it's not like that I am feeling sleepy right now, so that's why the formula of H2O will water will be H2O4. Okay, because I am feeling sleepy, or I don't like water. These things do not happen in science. Okay, science is based on facts. So the formula of water will be H2O for all over the globe. Okay, for everywhere around the globe, everyone around the globe, the formula of water will be H2O, and it is a verifiable reality. We can verify it experimentally. Okay, it's not based on feelings. Okay, or intuition. It's not based on those things. But whereas religion is based on feelings. Okay, and emotionality. Okay, so religion is not verifiable. Okay, religion cannot be verified. Okay, you cannot verify whether God has whether God is happy with you or not. Can you verify it? The answer is no. Okay, we cannot do any experiment and verify whether God is happy with us or not. Some people say that I had the dream yesterday's night, and God had appeared in my dream yesterday night. Okay, and he gave me blessings. So all these are just feelings. God did not actually visit him. Okay, God did not visit him. Actually he is so much involved in the feeling of God, and he has so deep faith in God that his mind psychologically thought that God has visited me. Okay, so that is the thing. So religion is based on feelings instead of facts, and science is based on facts instead of feelings. Okay, so science is objective in nature, whereas religion is subjective in nature, right? So personal feelings of scientists do not affect the discovery in case of science, whereas in religion the personal feelings of a person will differ from religion to religion. Okay, so we will learn after this from the next class onwards. Okay, we will learn. Let me mark it with a pen where we have stopped. Okay, let me mark it. Okay, just a second, friends. Let me mark it. Yes, I have marked it. So from here onwards we will start in the next class. Okay, so till then keep on watching our channel. So why we were discussing all these things? Because this will uh, what was the reason behind Britishers coming to India and ruling over India for 200 years, 250 years? The reason was because all these links will combine together. All these small bits of pieces will combine together and give you an interlinked approach, complete feeling that how this happened. Okay, how the Britishers came to India, why did they rule for 250 years? Okay, how their history started, how their country started to develop, how their country started to progress, and how their aspirations made India a slave. Okay, so all these things will come in the upcoming classes, but the base is like this only. Okay, the base is the uh, the reason behind India being taken over by Britain, and India being colonized by Britain. The main reason is the Renaissance. Okay, it the roots of this colonialism and imperialism. The roots go back to Renaissance period. Okay, then Renaissance, then Industrial Revolution, and after that colonialism and imperialism starts, right? So all these things are very much important. Okay, so thank you very much.